Hi, I'm Karen from Watts on Wheels, and I'm here at Whiskey Mountain RV in Mesa, Arizona, and I'm here with Barry and Deana Ferguson, the owners. And I have reached out to the DRV community and asked them what questions you would like to ask a used DRV salesman. And I got a lot of questions to ask. We're Dave and Karen from Watts on Wheels, and we sold our sticks and bricks to RV full-time now that we are retired. We travel with our heavy-duty truck Leroy, our two K&M motorcycles, our DRV Dixie, and our smart car Zippy. Don't forget to subscribe and click on that bell to be notified when we post a new video. Tell us about your business and how did this all get started?
Well, Deana and I have been in the RV business for about 20 years. It's something she talked me into. She wanted to get out of the car business where it came from. And she talked me into it, and I didn't really want to do it. It was too complex, but it turned out to be more profitable. So we've been in it for 20 years now, and about 5 years ago we decided to specialize in DRVs. After selling every product known to man over the previous years, we just decided to sell DRVs, and it's been the best decision we've made ever.
But there's got to be a reason for DRVs.
Well, the reason we chose DRVs is because we narrowed it down to a competitor of DRVs and DRV itself. And the bottom line was, if you want to sleep at night and not be embarrassed by what you sell, I found that DRVs was much less prone to that. And other products, you'd almost cringe. As soon as they got on the road, you knew you were going to get a call or two for a while. But DRV is something to be proud of, and we really like the people that we meet. We like the product. We love the factory. They get a lot of support even though we're used, and it was, like I said, a really good decision. Really good.
Awesome. Is there a particular year or model you prefer to sell?
Well, more recently Deana and I have decided to focus on 15 and up. We figured that's about a 5-year span, so we typically try to sell coaches that are 5 years old or newer, based on depreciation and things like that. We figure that's a pretty good sort. As they get older, they need more maintenance, I suppose, but still we're looking to give out a product that doesn't give people a problem, so sometimes starting with a newer coach will make that easier to do.
Easier on you too?
Easier on all of us. All of us, believe me.
Is there a particular model that seems to be more popular?
What do you think, Deana?
The Houston and the baby Houston.
Yeah.
There's a baby Houston?
Yeah, the DBR.
Oh,
yeah.
Really?
So what she means by that is the Houston is a triple axle bath and a half, and the DBR, like the one we're sitting in, is a double axle bath and a half. And I agree with her. Those two are by far the most popular floor plans. The Houston especially. I mean, we sell a Houston in about an hour.
Wow.
The Memphis is pretty popular.
Memphis is too.
Yeah.
Dallas is up
Those
there.
are all the 45 footers too.
All
The
the big
46
ones.
footers
Yeah,
are
the
the
big
real
ones.
top sellers for us. Really, the bigger they are, the better they sell.
Have you seen a difference in the DRVs since Thor purchased DRV in 2015? Like any effect on the public or the dealers? We got a little smile on your face.
Well, okay. The smile comes from I'm swimming upstream on this issue.
Okay.
As the salesperson for our company, I get asked that question a lot. And all I can tell you is that it is my experience with selling over 400 used coaches that Thor has done a tremendous job. Every year they're just better and better.
Well, we got a 2015 and we love it.
Yeah,
So,
and then 2015 was about the time that Thor bought,
Right.
depending on production days.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a big question. Where do you find your used DRVs?
Okay. Most of our coaches come from dealers who are taking them in trade. We see movements from fifth wheels to diesel pushers and all that, but we tend to get most of our coaches from other dealers across the country. We spend about $10,000 a month at least hauling coaches in from all over the country, and they're typically traded in at other dealers, so that dealer's afraid to give them what we're willing to give them. We pay a bit more. We're not as afraid of them as other people are. So we get them from dealers, we get them from our own trade-ins, we buy them from private parties, and a small percentage, a selected small group can come from an auction, but not very many.
So
Maybe one or two
You
a
do
year.
a good bit of research and trying to find them.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, and because also we've become known now. I mean, a lot of people say, hey, we'll call these people even though they're in Arizona, and we'll get a buy bid from them. We'll give them a buy bid. They know our check is going to be good. We'll come pick it up and get it out of their hair. But in the meantime, we do buy all of our coaches sight unseen.
You too, huh?
Yeah, yeah. So we understand what our customers are going through. But we're less intimidated because no matter what it is, we know we can fix it.
What do you have to do to make a used DRV ready to sell? Like, do you have a process you go through, a list you go through? How does that all work?
Well, on that issue, I think we are unique. All of our units are what we call certified units, certified used units. We got the idea from the car business, where the cars are guaranteed for a longer period of time and more thoroughly serviced prior to being sold. It's a good description of what we do. And so we service the coaches beyond your wildest imagination, and then we put a 1-year warranty on every coach, at least a 1-year warranty on every coach that's good anywhere in the country. It's not a warranty that makes you come back to us. You can go anywhere you want. It's, so yeah, we've estimated that we spend about 100 man-hours on every single coach.
So everything is from fit, function.
Well, there's nothing we don't miss. Now, when I say that, have we ever missed something? Yeah, but I try to encourage my customers to stay in touch with me no matter how long they own the coach. And if they got an issue, we want to take care of it. 95% of our customers come from out of state. So we're used to dealing with a problem, somebody that's gone to Kentucky after they left here and take care of it. So, but we have very few problems. I have to admit that we have very, very few problems.
Okay, so that you asked the question, how long do they take to get prepared for sale? And you said 100 man-hours.
There's 100 man-hours in it, probably, I'd say $1,000 to $1,500 worth of parts. It's the service, the roof is serviced, the brakes are all torn down, and everything in between, every electrical, plumbing, component.
What are the most common repairs that you see when preparing a DRV for sale?
We spend money on furniture.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Decor.
What about
Tires.
function? Tires? Yeah.
Tires, yeah. We don't let a coach get out of here with tires that are more than 5 years old, and even then that depends on their condition.
Batteries.
Batteries all the time.
A lot of batteries.
Yeah, but that's not major stuff, When we first get a coach, I have to admit that we run into it and say, okay, where did we make a mistake in this purchase? And we're a little bit terrified, just like other people are. And for the most part, though, with our research that we do, we don't end up too many times with a problem we didn't anticipate.
And I don't think there's anything that's consistently bad in each coach. Like, one coach might have a microwave that doesn't boil a cup of water, or another coach might have a fridge that the ice maker doesn't work. So there's not one item that's broke all the time.
We go through them thoroughly, so every area can be a problem, but I don't really know if there's a consistent pattern.
Consistent.
No, they're more dependent on how the people treated the coach.
Use.
Oh, yeah.
That is really
how worn out it is.
Yeah.
How they cleaned, they kept it, how much they used
Or
it.
even the products they use to clean.
Yeah,
Sometimes
clean
you could see the product use in like the inside of the microwaves, or
Whether they
their
had
sinks, the steel sinks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Small dog, big dog, cats, birds, snakes,
Oh, yeah.
parrots, all kinds.
They can do a little damage.
They
Birds.
can do damage.
Birds are
Birds,
bad.
wow.
Okay, what do you do to inspect for water damage, and what do you do to prevent water intrusion on units you sell?
Knowing this might be one of your questions, I thought about this a lot. If I was to pick a year where I find water damage to be more common than other years, I'd say 14. And I'd say that the most common reason that there's water damage is because either the salespeople who sold them the coach didn't tell them you must re-caulk your coach on a regular basis. If you do not caulk the coach regularly and keep the caulking up to date, then you'll have leaks. Let's say this window here, it's on the side of the sofa. That's a common area, the molding below the window. If that's not re-caulked, water gets right into the floor and damages the carpet, the wall, and everything. But it's unfortunate that people don't realize that probably caulking your coach and washing it regularly will give you so much less problems than you can possibly imagine. Every coach that we sell, we strip off all the caulking and put on all new caulking.
Oh.
And right now we're experimenting with the product. GeoCell makes the caulking for the RV industry. It's called 2300 MHRV. It's special for RVs. Okay. I don't know what special means, but it's not as good as their primary product, which is 2300. So we use 2300 now. Prior to that, we're using silicone, but silicone is hard for the next person to get off. So caulking your coach is like big deal, big deal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I think a lot of people have learned that.
Yeah, hard way.
How do you inspect the hydraulics system? And what experience do you have in repairing Lippert level up, usually the front legs that have had issues?
Okay, the Thor owns DRV. Thor goes out and replaces the front legs with a more serviceable unit that does not leak down like the old style. What we've determined is that the old style with the outer collar allows dirt to get inside and you can't clean it. And that dirt attacks the seal at the beginning of the leg. And that seal starts to roll around and then it'll show signs of leaking and then not leaking for weeks. It doesn't leak externally, it leaks internally. So, and it's extremely hard to service. LCI stopped making them for a while, but they're back in production because of demand. So, what the hoses, the orange hoses that lead to the front legs, especially the right front leg, those we inspect and keep in stock all the time. If there's any sign of bubbling on the orange cover, that's an indication that hose must be replaced immediately. Otherwise, you've got a big problem.
You say bubbling on the hose
Yeah,
itself?
the hose itself, the skin of the hose develops little bumps in it. And that's oil getting through the carcass. And it's caused by over crimping the hose at the factory. That's what its cause is. But again, we've seen much less of that now. The new legs certainly won't do like the old legs do. The new legs can be serviced in the field. They're much shorter. They don't have to dig a pit to change them. So again, this is another thing that Thor improved. And they went from an 8,000 pound leg to a 9,000 pound leg.
Do you update the can't leak system on all the units you sell?
Okay, this is an example of our experience versus what other people think. If a person's can't leak system starts to leak, which we always find kind of funny, then they think there's a 100% chance that their can't leak will leak. Okay, but if you do 400 coaches and you replace maybe 10 can't leak systems, you don't think that's a real problem. And we find that the problem is not necessarily with the system, it's a lack of education. You should not change the source of the water supply while the can't leak system is under pressure. If it's under pressure, it has a tendency to blow the valve, and then you're in trouble. But when you do replace the can't leak system, yes, they have an updated one with the brass valves. I understand, and it is our experience that never seems to come back.
Okay.
But that was a component that DRV bought from somebody else, you know. And it's ironic it was called can't leak.
Oh, I know. That's
Yeah, everybody thinks that's funny. Yeah.
Who does your staging and photographs for your website?
Ta-da!
Because you do a fabulous job.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So tell us what you had to go through to do that.
I started taking pictures for our dealerships when the internet became popular. So I've been 1999 probably, and I just have improved it all the time. I guess it's pretty easy for me, but I've been doing it for so many years, and I only photograph this one thing. I'm not good at people. Because my family's like, can you take our picture? And I'm like, no. No, I'm not good at that. So I can do coaches, and we've always decorated. We always wanted to stand out a little bit.
Now, do you have like a little warehouse full of all kinds of goodies?
I do.
Oh my God.
I do.
All kinds of
yeah.
goodies.
Oh my
I have
God.
a garage full. It's in there.
And then every now and then a customer will come by and they say, gee, I really like that vase that you had, or that counter accent.
Yeah.
Can I have it? And
A
Dina
lantern or
Dina will
something.
give it to them. Yes,
Did
no, thank you.
did he give
Yeah.
it to you?
Yep.
Oh, good.
Oh, good.
But we won't let them know that if they ask.
Well, it just happens. And so that helps us sort of rotate our stock a little
You
Yeah.
gotta
bit
give
too.
them
you
fresh,
know.
updated stuff so
Fresh,
they
It's
can
updated
go.
true.
stuff.
Like
Yeah.
I look at my stuff now, and I'm like, it's a little dated. We're now moving into like the metals and the woods, and I don't have that kind of stuff, so I'm gonna have to update my stuff.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, how long does it take you to stage a unit?
It's to stage it and take the pictures. It takes all day because part of staging is going through and just making sure everything's cleaned and tightened and the drawers work. It's kind of also a PDI process.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
we do
Yeah.
that. And she's right
So
about
it
that.
takes
She'll
all
go
day.
and touch the little wood chips. She'll
Yeah, I
touch
touch
them
everything
up.
up and
And You put things where they belong and straighten them out. It's just a...
It's a day process.
It's a process.
Yeah.
It doesn't involve stacking stuff on the counter and then taking
Yeah.
pictures of it.
Oh,
Yeah,
And
we do a lot more.
And I do the selling, and I can say it really does make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that what the message we want to convey is that it takes work to do that. And if you care about something like that, then we hope it shows that we care about the rest of the coach too.
Mm-hmm.
You don't
Yeah.
want to decorate, I don't know, for lack of a better word, a pig. I mean, it's still a pig, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but if you decorate it and at the same time you're going through the coach and looking at the small little details, and then when somebody says, "Is that coach really look that good? Is it going to be different when I get there or when it gets here?" And we assure them, "No, we've been doing it for a long time. This is it. We don't doctor the pictures. This is what it is." And they're extremely clean, and there's no odors, and that's a big deal. What she does is a huge deal.
And how many
Yeah.
pictures do you take generally?
I say
Or post, I should say.
each coach I probably take about 250 pictures, and I probably post 65 to 80 depending on the unit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I knew there was a woman behind all
Oh
that.
yeah, yes, of course.
How long do the DRVs usually stay on the lot before they are sold?
Well, anywhere from a couple of hours, which happens way more than we think. I mean, sometimes we're anxious to get something on the internet because we think it'll sell that night or even or the next day. I'd say that most of our coaches are sold within, say, 30 days. But because we do so much custom work on all the coaches, they typically still remain listed on our website as sale pending for a long period of time. But that's because they're traveling in, or they're spending $10,000 updating it, or changing the color of this or that. We do a lot of custom work.
I didn't realize that. So tell us, what kind of things do you customize?
Well, I tell everybody, when it comes to a DRV, there's nothing that we can't do. We change out TVs, we put on TV brackets, we change flooring, we change carpet, furniture,
Refrigerators.
satellites, fridge, king beds,
Oh,
queen
I would have given you a
beds.
longer list this
Yeah,
time if I
maybe.
would have known that.
Yeah. No, we
If you
do.
want a stove or an oven when they don't come with ovens
Right.
anymore.
Or get rid of the oven and put
Put
drawers
the-
in.
Exactly.
You don't want the electric cooktop. You want the gas one.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. They don't want the, and we do little things that we think the factory should catch on over a period of time, like in this particular floor plan, the toilet's too close to the wall in the half bath. So we take it and we rotate it into the room a little bit to give somebody more room.
Oh, wow.
And they say, "Well, why do you do that?" And I says, "Well, sit on it and you'll find out why we do that." "But why do you even care?" He says, "Well, I don't want a phone call." And sometimes when people buy something, it's hard for them to appreciate what it really means in their day-to-day life. So what we try to do is anticipate their needs and then look at the way they're going to use the coach, and then we offer them recommendations to think about, which they can do something about or do nothing about. An example of the servicing that we do. If you notice this wall, if you give it a bit of a nudge, it actually moves. Over time, the door frame gets out of line and the door won't close. When we sell this coach, we will take this molding off, peel back the wall a little bit, put anchors in the floor, put the molding back, and it looks like it's never been touched. And that wall will never move. Now what we've learned by servicing a coach, buying these floor plans, we know that it will do this. So we fix that before it gets delivered to the customer. Now, this not only reflects on us, but it also reflects on DRV. Because DRV says, "Hey, these guys fixed something at their own cost," and then we give the information back to the factory. Ed Fry has been hired to review warranty claims and look at problem areas, and we're communicating with him to show him what happens to a coach after it's been used for a while. So that wall will be fixed, it'll be solid, there'll be no complaints, it'll reflect on DRV just as much as it reflects on us.
So you do have communication on things that you do find.
DRV has actually contacted us and said, give us your experience, give us your feedback. We're not going to promise you anything, but we want to listen to what our customers are experiencing. Now, I don't know any other company other than DRV that has a person that says, Let's look at our warranty claims. Let's see where our problem areas are. Let's take it back to the factory and see if we can fix them at the factory so people don't have to go through this. And I don't know who else you can thank but DRV and their relationship with Thor that they're giving them the resources to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I think DRV is like a huge, great coach. It's just a great coach. Okay? So that's just an example of one thing.
Is there any, I'm getting off the questions.
Yeah.
Is there any customization that you can't do?
Well, we can't change the floor plan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We can't change the frame. We can do tires and wheels, do custom tires and wheels. We do hitches. So I'd say awnings and topper awnings and satellites and solar and inverter systems and battery systems and generators and no generators. No, I probably think there's nothing we can't do. I really do believe that.
How many do you have in your staff?
We have 3 full-time certified mechanics, Deana and I and my son.
Oh, okay.
Our son. But typically it's not uncommon for us to remove doors and put in shelves or change out, adding a dishwasher where there wasn't one, like my wife said. All of that requires a lot of cabinetry work, and we do all of that.
But like valances you can change out. If you don't want glass in your cabinet, you
Oh
can
yeah,
put
that's an
wood in.
easy one.
Well, you were talking about like sometimes your units will sell within a couple of hours.
Oh, yeah.
I did talk with somebody who they went to your website and she's like, the next day I go to ship my husband and sold. And she said, then I go back again and it's gone. It's just, they go so quickly.
No, people think, we're reluctant to tell people they sell quickly because they think that's kind of a sales tactic. Oh yeah, I mean, you say, that's what you say, but
Yeah.
the truth of the matter is that by the time we get, it takes us 2 weeks to get a coach ready for pictures. And then it'll take another, I'd say if I had to pick an average, it'll take 10 to 14 days to sell it, with plenty of units going within hours.
Wow.
Most of the time because we have, apparently, we have a lot of people watching our website,
Yep.
and they're looking for a particular floor plan, and they don't call us, let us know they're looking for one, which we can find, but they just wait until we have one.
Yeah, exactly.
We sold, our most recent one we sold to Houston to a couple. We posted it, 5 o'clock on Friday, and it was sold with a deposit at 6 o'clock, 1 hour later, on our way home.
Wow.
Oh,
And most of your
yeah.
purchasers are from out of state, aren't they?
95% of our customers are out of state. They really have to trust that these pictures are accurate,
Right.
and that whatever they need, we can handle it. I'm finding increasingly lately that people are relying almost completely on our knowledge of the product. You know, this is what I hear, Barry, when I talk to people. And they say, well, that's not my experience, or is my experience. Or this is how I would deal with it, or I won't deal with it. But, yeah, there's just, it takes a lot of faith to buy a coach. But from us, I'm sure we're not the only ones, but I think we're very good at what we do.
Yeah.
And I think most of it comes from simply saying it's not the end of the world when you drive away. It's just the beginning of our relationship. And I think you probably would attest to that.
We bought it sight unseen.
Yeah, you bought it sight unseen.
When we walked in the coach, it looked exactly like it did
Well,
in the
remember,
pictures.
you have a tractor trailer, and it made me think of this event where a person bought a coach from us, put it on a tractor trailer. The brake release cable came out on his way to Texas.
I heard about this.
And the brakes caught fire because his truck didn't sense that the brakes were being applied because he only dialed in a little brake. So because the truck was doing the braking, he does a little trailer brake. So when the cable came out, the brakes only lightly applied. Brakes catch fire. Okay, he gets over to the side of the road. He just picked it up. So he's calling me and he says, what the heck? And I said, look, let's deal with the immediate problem, safety. So then after that, we'll analyze what happened. What we found out was that his cord, when he took a left turn to go onto the highway, the brake release cable came off the coach and it pulled out. We had 3 other people that haul coaches on tractor trailers like you do. And I think we did call you to say, put a buzzer
You
on
told us
your
about it.
Yeah, put a buzzer on your truck so that you know when that brake release cable comes out. So we took all that information from one person's experience and turned around and gave it to everybody else.
You
and
did contact us.
And then in that person, he was a mechanic. So I said, look, it's not my fault what happened. We serviced the brakes before it went, and we know what we did. I'll send you all new brake parts if you put them on. And so we put on new brake parts to him. That was $700 or $800. It wasn't our fault. He gets his brakes done. It's now just a distant memory.
He's a happy customer.
He's a happy camper.
Yeah. Can you ship the DRV to buyers, and if so, what does it cost for you to do that?
If you ship within Canada, the United States, it's $1.50 a mile one way. Now, we've sold coaches into South Korea, Australia, New Zealand, England, Spain, Denmark. We sold coaches all other countries too.
Wow.
We put them in containers and ship them.
No kidding.
But that's a lot more expensive. That tends to be about $5,000 to ship a coach to England. We send it into Jacksonville, Florida, and then we ship it into Southampton. So lots of coaches get sold outside the country.
And
Well, a few.
I asked you the question. You answered the question. Do you provide a warranty when you sell a used DRV? And you said at least 1 year comes with it,
Yeah.
and you can use it anywhere in the United States.
Right.
Yeah.
What PM do you recommend, and how often?
Okay, preventive maintenance. Okay, what I see is, my recommendation is, whenever you're not using a coach, try to store it at least undercover or indoors. It makes a huge difference in, you just have to hook up to it and haul it away. And when that's easy, you use it more often. But the roof should be washed once a year. Get all the birds stuff off of it, tree sap, wash it, clean it, service what needs to be serviced. Don't redo every seam when it doesn't need it. Then I'd say also you must recaulk your coach. I recommend you recaulk your coach at least once every 2 years. At least once every 2 years.
Inspect it.
Yeah, and we tell our customers when they leave, this area or this area you must inspect almost monthly to make sure that water doesn't get in behind here.
And which areas of that?
That would be the bedroom slide, and any coach with the windows beside the sofa, and the wheel arch moldings. But then that's just purely decorative. But yeah, those are the real problem areas that if they're caulked properly, you're never going to be mad at anybody except yourself.
So I know that you have always sold used DRVs.
Yeah.
But now you're getting into the repair side of it. So how did that whole thing come about?
Well, okay, how it came about was we had a lot of customers. As our customer base expanded, we had our customers bringing the coaches back to us to service them, even though they didn't have to. But they kept coming back. We said, okay, well, we got to take care of these people at least. But in the process of buying coaches and fixing them extensively like we do, we got to learn everything that needs to be done. And all of a sudden I had 3 highly skilled technicians that can fix anything. And I said, well, I'd like to cut my payroll expense if I could. So we decided to open up ourselves only to DRVs. We don't service any other coach, just DRVs. We say, we know that coach really well. You got a problem, we've seen it before, we know the fix, we can estimate the price honestly and be consistent and get it done. We know the time frame. We're we're hoping to build a service center next year on about 3.5 acres in Apache Junction. It's going to focus just on DRV products. It's going to offer, where you can, remember you said where you can stay while it's being serviced. Those are the kind of things we can't do here. We're jammed here all the time. Our spaces are never empty here. I'm working with Brian at More Ride. We're trying to become certified for More Ride repairs and service, installations of independent suspensions. There's a lot of people switching to More Ride suspensions and doing the 2-inch lift, which, by the way, there's more than one solution to doing a 2-inch lift. There's lots of other things you can do, but it is a good way to do it. Sometimes it's ordered by the factory. When we get a person with a newer truck and buying a coach that's not lifted, we're capable of dealing with that.
So it sounds like you can repair anything, even right down to replacing carpeting and whatever
carpeting!
else.
Carpeting is easy.
Yeah, on flooring and
That's easy.
stuff.
Yeah.
We'll be back.
Yeah, I know. That stuff is easy.
So how much lead time does somebody need to come in here to get
We
the
have
repairs
right now.
done?
We have no lead time. We're at the point now where we can take people in. The week after, I think,
Yeah, maybe
Okay.
a week.
Yeah, a week or so at the most,
Well,
But
I don't think the word's quite out there yet that
No.
you guys do the repairs, and we started
No.
talking about that at our last
Yeah.
rally, and people are like, "Oh my gosh, everybody's in Arizona in the wintertime. Where's he at?" And
yeah.
so
Well, that was why we decided to get into it. We said if we're going to get into it and have to deal with all the things like food in the fridge.
Yep.
Okay, there's lots of things you got to watch out for when you're dealing with servicing. And their dogs and where they want to stay and all of that. It's a big deal if you're going to do it right. So about a month ago we said, okay, let's do it. Let's just make a few phone calls and now, yeah, boy, we're probably doing 2-3 major jobs every week.
Well, I know Rick's been around here for a long time. We picked up our unit a couple of years ago. He took us through everything.
Yeah.
I mean, very thorough on when we picked it up. We felt very comfortable in how to operate everything when we left. So
Yeah, Rick
That's
typically
great.
takes about 2.5 to 3 hours just to do an orientation.
as of today, what is your hourly rate?
Our hourly rate is $90 an hour for existing customers, like people who bought a coach from us. And it's $120 an hour for everybody else.
When somebody needs to have service done, I know there are some repair places that they'll charge you to look at each thing, to investigate what you say is going wrong. And then if they say, well, that's something we can't do, or it's a no-brainer or whatever, they still charge you for that rate just to have looked at it. And it's like, it was a no-brainer, it was a leak in the pipe, okay? You can say it. Why do you have to charge me to say, oh yes, it was a leak in the pipe?
If I got the reputation that I charge for every single task, whether it resulted in a repair or not, I'm not affecting just my service department, I'm affecting my sales because it's all one reputation. So our mechanics are told, keep track of the time it takes to do it. Lots of repairs that we do are help our customers over the phone. I'd say 30 to 40% of the time, people call me and they say, this is what my coach is doing. And I say, okay. So we go to our database that Deana makes. We
Tech
bring
support.
up the,
Ah,
we bring
very
up the
good.
pictures of the coach that they bought from us.
Okay.
And they say, Barry, what is that switch for? And I say, I got the picture of your switch in front of me now. And this is what that switch is for. So lots of times the person says, my fridge stopped working. You talk them through it. And it results in no repairs at all. No dollar repair. They don't even have to bring it to us. They say, thank you, Barry, we're out of here.
Will you ever do mobile service?
We already do mobile service here in town, but again, only for DRVs.
Okay, but only here in the Mesa area?
Only in the Mesa area.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not going to Tucson or Flagstaff.
We've been through a lot of questions, and I got one more biggie.
Okay.
What future plans do you have for Whiskey Mountain, your growth, new buildings, website, anything else you're getting into?
Well, as I said earlier, we'll continue to sell used coaches. We'll have a service center that we think will draw from many, many states.
But only DRVs.
But only
Only
DRVs.
DRVs.
Yeah. And I think that that helps because you cannot possibly know every single product that you sell to the detail that needs to be done to do good service. You just can't. There's no way. You sell 7 different major lines and you actually tell me that mechanic knows everything about that coach? No way.
Yeah.
But here at DRV, we know every single bit of the coach. And there's I can't think of a repair that we've been unable to do.
Is there anything else you'd like to say to the community out there?
Deana, what do you think?
I say thank you and call us if you're looking.
Hey, you can't put any more simple than that. Yeah. Call us anytime, service or sales, we're good.
Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please give us a thumbs up. We'd love to hear from you in the comments below, even if it's just to say hi. Don't forget to subscribe.